Hi, I'm Jen, and I am head of marketing here at Making. My pronouns are she, her, and my Making Up username is Knit Pearl. We have been just having the best time at Flock with vendor interviews, and I'm just super thankful for this festival. But really, the reason that we are here right now.
Hi, everybody.
Jenny, please introduce yourself.
Hi. Yes. Thank you. Also a fellow Jennifer.
Yes, I'm Jennifer, but if somebody says that to me, I feel like I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, same.
Yeah. Jennifer. What'd I do?
I go by Jenny.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm Jenny with 316 Dye Studio. Hi, everybody. Out of Wichita, Kansas. So we made the trek from Kansas all the way to the West Coast. So super excited to be here. Yeah, it was a 27-hour drive. It was a little crazy, but you know, not too bad. We broke it up in a couple days, so it wasn't so bad.
That's good.
Yeah.
Where did you stop along the way? Anything fun? Or was it just like maintenance driving?
Yeah,
like just gotta go.
Yeah, okay. But we did spend a full day here. We had some friends that live around Portland area, so they drove into Seattle, and we went to the Chihuly Garden and Glass.
Yeah,
which was really cool.
nice.
Yeah, so cool.
It's very cool. It's very
cool.
cool.
We did do a little bit of sightseeing.
Awesome. I love that. I mean, reading your bio and your website, it's like you really saved the day in Wichita yarn wise. That's what it sounds like. And so tell us how you started experimenting with dyeing and how that led to going full time.
So for those people that aren't familiar with Wichita, I think a lot of people think that Kansas City is probably the biggest city in Kansas, but it straddles two state lines. There's the Missouri side and then a Kansas side.
Okay.
So Wichita is technically the largest city in Kansas.
Oh,
geography lesson for
you know what? We're all learning today. Yeah. I love this.
But with so we have with the suburbs about 600,000 people, which seems like a decent size. Yeah. You would imagine lots of yarn stores, but no yarn stores, which was very sad. So at the time that I started dyeing, it was really kind of just out of necessity. I hand spin also. I had a local group that we meet at, and we meet like once a month. Third Sunday spinning is what we call it. And there was nowhere within a few hours that you could even go to get roving. So how I got into dyeing was actually, I started dyeing roving. So that kind of eventually branched off into the yarn thing. So at the time I started dyeing, it was also to fill the need in the community, because when I started dyeing, we didn't have any yarn stores anymore. So the last one had closed maybe about a year before I started dyeing, and she retired. And then we went for a long time without a local LYS.
Oh my goodness.
For like 5 or 6 years. We just recently, within the last year, like 2 popped up.
So, good. Okay.
Yeah. So
it's okay, everyone.
Yeah. So luckily a couple of people have stepped up and opened the store.
Yeah.
So,
good.
That's how I kind of got started in it. It was like more of like a necessity and an interest also.
And an interest. Yeah. Okay. Are you based out of Creation Station?
No. So Creation Station is a yarn store that's probably about 30 minutes. Okay, let me tell you a little backstory about Wichita.
Yeah. I need
30 minutes. I know, like, probably for people that live in a major city is like nothing. Wichitans are very strange. We do not like to go to the east side or the west side. You're either an eastie or you're a westie.
Okay.
So driving like 35 minutes out of your way to a store, most Wichitans will not do.
Got it.
So Creation Station is actually a yarn store that's about 35 minutes north of Wichita. And she was one of the first people that took a chance on selling my hand-dyed yarn.
Oh,
yes. Her name is Catherine. Very sweet.
We love you, Catherine.
Yes. Thank you, Catherine. So yeah, she kind of just was like, yeah, sure, we'll try it. Why not? And it kind of just led to more opportunities. My friend Jenny, that opened up one of the yarn stores in Wichita, organized local pop-ups for a lot of the local Wichita indie dyers, which was really awesome. So she also was like a major part in like giving me a lot of confidence and pursuing like dyeing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
When people come together, it's beautiful, Okay, so your colorways are inspired from nature to neon and everything in between. So that is a broad spectrum.
Yes. And people ask me what my favorite color is, and I can't. It's so hard to pick one.
Yeah.
I love all of them.
I know.
So a lot of my colors, I do neutrals. I mostly focus on a lot of brights though. My last collection, that was all based off Bob Ross paintings. So so we picked 11 11 of his paintings, and I dyed a variegated yarn and then a tonal yarn to go with it. So that was all nature inspired, which was really cool. Kind of got me out of my comfort zone a little bit.
It's like pop culture / nature.
Yeah. And
that's
I mean,
great.
You can't pick a better, person to dye yarn.
Was one of them called Happy Little Trees?
So we have,
I gotta hear this.
Have a colorway called Tree Hugger, which is like a green tonal.
Love it.
But the yarn is called the Happy Little Yarn Collection. So we also collabed with a couple other makers who made a Happy Little Tree project bag for us for the collection. And it's a color your own project bag. And it has all just like doodle trees on there that you can color, which was really cool.
Fun.
Yeah. And we collabed with a maker out in Texas that made us some custom stitch markers too for the collection. It can be in nature. It could be like, a shirt somebody's wearing. I don't really focus on one or the other. I kind of try to have all the colors.
So is it just like a gut feeling kind of that you get when you see something? You're like, ooh, that's it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I trust your gut. We all have intuition, right? Just got to trust your gut. That's wonderful. Tell me about your journey as a maker. Where did you get started?
Yeah. So no one in my family does fiber arts. Really?
Oh,
I'm the odd person out. And in a group,
I don't know if I'd say odd.
A family full of women, you would think at least one, but no, nobody.
Wow.
My journey started in middle school with cross stitch. I did tons of cross stitch. My friend, her mom did cross stitch, and I was like, that was so cool.
So your friend's mom taught you?
Yeah, my friend taught me because her mom taught her. So I begged her. I was like, can you please teach me how to do this? And I just became obsessed with it. And that kind of branched off into learning to knit. I started when I was 18 for knitting. And then after grad school, I started spinning.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's kind of been my progression. And then after, say like a few years, maybe after I graduated grad school, I started I always had the interest in dyeing.
Yeah.
And I remember taking lessons. So I took for hand spinning, we had a local art facility that teaches classes, and one of them was spinning. And I remember the instructor being like, oh, if we have time, we might like dye. And every time I would be like, are we dyeing today? Is that what we're practicing? Are we doing the dyeing yet today?
Yeah.
And so it's always been like an interest. But then like once I started it was just that.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're not making or running your business, so craftiness is off the table. What do you do? I know.
Time for hobbies?
Isn't that funny? I feel like that's what everybody's saying.
Small business owners have time for hobbies. Usually it's probably some other craft. I mean, crafting really is ingrained in me and has become a major part of my life. So it's usually kind of like really niche crafts that I've been really excited
I need to know
about.
more.
Yeah. So get a pencil and pen, people.
Okay. I remember take notes.
Paper. Jelly plate printing. Have you seen that? Have you heard of it?
No.
It's a mono printing process.
Okay.
So you have like a plate. It's called a jelly plate, but it's kind of tacky. But you can put like acrylic paint on. It's just a clear plate, and you put acrylic paint down on it, or you can use like alcohol markers or whatever, and you can draw on it. You can just take a brayer and roll different colors. You can do image transfers with magazines, but then you lay a piece of paper on it, and then it transfers the image from the jelly plate onto the piece of paper.
Got it.
It's very interesting.
Got it.
Yeah. So you can make like cards or like all sorts of paper crafts. Yeah.
That's
journaling.
It's fun.
Yeah. But you can also do it on fabric. It's really cool.
All right. Take note, everyone.
Yeah. And then also candle stamping, like people that like take wax and have like, that's another thing. I'm like, I could get into that.
Okay. I like that. I like that there's like the nicheness of them.
It's super niche. That's that's my brand right there.
It's your thing. Niche. Yeah.
My husband loves it.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So everybody has a story. The reason that we're doing this is to share everybody's story, but there's always a story behind the business or the product.
Yeah.
So what is the story that you want to tell with your business?
What have other people been saying? I'm curious to hear what other people have said.
You're going to have to watch.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair, everybody.
I mean, I would say if I were to pick one word that is like a blanket statement that kind of covers what everybody says, is it's just like kindness, or, a couple of words, I guess I should say, like kindness and acceptance.
I think if I had to pick like one word, I would say tradition, like keeping the tradition alive. Like if someone comes into my booth and like haven't really knit before, but I really love your color, like, and I want to learn or do something like that. That might then inspire like more people to get into the craft.
Yes.
So I think that's and also getting more youth into knitting and the fiber arts.
Yeah.
Kind of passionate about that. So I'd probably say that. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Are you doing anything locally to help make that happen, or?
Oh gosh, I wish I had, if I had the
time. You have the time.
I'm a single woman. Yeah. I do everything. It's always in the back of my mind.
Okay. So here is the call out. If there's anybody that's doing something like that, I don't know, contact Jenny. Maybe there's some sort of partnership.
Yeah.
We love bringing people together here. Okay. You have some really awesome socks. I
brought these specifically to show you. So this is also one of my new rabbit holes when you were asking about crafts. So since now dyeing is my full-time job, I have to have another hobby.
Of course.
So one of them has been eco printing. So I started a dye garden this past spring.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We could go into that. Just that. And for the whole thing.
These here, I'll show the camera. So these are all these blooms on here were all from my dye garden that we printed and transferred onto the socks. I grew everything from seed, but we also have a few dye flowers that grow wild in my backyard. So I've been harvesting those too, which is really cool. Yeah.
That is so
this is my new obsession right now, is eco printing.
I love it. But it's like, I mean, it still honors the, you're not just dyeing yarn. You're like, it's
but it's like sustainable, more sustainable.
Yes, exactly.
And sourceable, exactly where it comes from.
Right from your backyard.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I love that. And the colors are so gorgeous.
Hoping the flowers are still alive when I get back.
Yes.
We need to check on the animals. Hopefully.
There you go. Yeah. Perfect. They'll water it. They will be alive. We're just putting that out in the universe.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Yes. So what is next for 316 Dye Studio?
Yeah. So kind of that segues into what is next. So we're kind of creating another, still under the 316 umbrella, but like another kind of brand of more natural dyed things or nature like inspired. So I would really love to also have a very locally sourced and processed and dyed product. Yeah. So I'm kind of in the works talking to a shepherd that's very close to us. And we're very fortunate to have a fiber mill also very close to us.
Oh, wow.
So literally within maybe like 20 miles, it would all be like grown and processed and then dyed.
Amazing.
So I'm hoping to kind of get that kind of product, and then I can naturally dye it with items I grow from my backyard.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Oh my goodness. That sounds so wonderful. From your backyard.
Yeah, I mean, definitely more eco printing in the future for sure.
Yes. You definitely, I mean, you could do so many cool things with that. Also, apologies if you're hearing weird noises in the background. We're fine. It's just the Blue Angels in Seattle. Can you tell none of us like that? Right? I know. Yeah, it is. Okay. It's Seafair weekend. It's funny. They just like total side note. And this is what we call a side quest on the podcast. So I've been saying it here too. There was some Seattle publication that just did a survey, and it was like, do you like when the Blue Angels fly over? And like, everybody was like, no.
Oh my gosh, wow. Shade.
Nobody likes it.
I mean, Wichita has an Air Force base. So they'll like have a show,
got it.
But they don't just like, fly over.
I think it's just, it feels, at least for me, I'm not going to speak for everyone in Seattle, but it just feels like disruptive. And then the poor animals. And then it's like hard to also think about like the people who like maybe have like PTSD from that kind of stuff. Right, and like, that's why I'm not a fan of fireworks. Yeah. Again, we're going on a side quest, everyone. You're joining us. Where can everybody find you?
Yeah. So on social media, I'm at 316 Dye Studio on Instagram and Facebook. Mm-hmm. And then my website, 316dyestudio.com.
Awesome. Again, this whole community has been fantastic and everyone's been lovely. And thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
I'm just going to follow festivals around and ask them if I can do this so that I can get to know everyone, because it's just been wonderful.
What an end, right?
I know, right?
Yeah.
All right, y'all. If you are not a part of the Making app, join the community at themakingapp.com. It is just such a wonderful place. It's like you open up the app and you scroll, and it's just creativity and inspiration,
Get on it,
multi-craftable.
everybody.
It's so good. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks everyone for watching.
Bye.
Bye.